What's up, guys? It is your host. Hold on, actually, wait a minute. I don't do that yet. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dwayne here on the Freedom Revolution Network News. I am your host, Dwayne Lanham, your co-host, Scarlet Anonymous. Scarlet Anonymous will be here soon. We have two new storms popping up. We have Genevieve, a Category 3 hurricane in the Baja Peninsula, which is the bottom of Mexico, the bottom of California. Moving at, I should give you guys the updates real quick. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Moving at a wind speed hold on. All right. Moving at a wind speed of 100 knots, 150 miles per hour. Central pressure of 960 millibars, located at 17.4 north and 107.1 west. Movement northwest at 15 knots, which is 17 miles per hour. She is considered a hurricane at this point, and I will kind of screen share to show you guys exactly where she's at. So here's, we'll click Geneva real quick so we can give you guys an update. Go back. Yeah, right here, guys, is Geneve. She is right here between Mexico and the Baja part of California. Like I said, moving at 100 knots, 150 miles per hour, 960 millibars, 17.4 north, 107.1 west, located at 17.4 north, 107.1, moving northwest at 15 knots per hour. But guys, this thing is moving, and it's moving pretty quick. We have another one. I'm waiting for Scarlett to get on here real quick. To show us what's moving and what's moving where. We had the one that said within a 48 hour, it has a 70% chance of forming, and within a 5-day span, it's a 90% chance of forming. And I know you guys normally don't see me on here at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm actually wide awake. I just woke up about a couple hours ago. But guys, this thing's serious. We got also a typhoon moving in off the coast of, getting ready to move off the coast of Hong Kong. So guys, yeah, the storm season's picking up this year, and I wasn't expecting it to be as bad as it is. But every year, I underestimate myself. I underestimate these things. The Category 3 hurricane is what I'm really concerned about the most. We really have not seen a Cat 3 hurricane sit on this part of the ocean before in a while. So when you have a storm like this sitting there, it's moving, and it's a Category 3. Cat 3 can do a lot of damage. Do a lot of damage. It can, just with the winds alone, because it's saying that with the 115 mile per hour winds, that can do a lot of damage. Ugh. Sorry, guys, I'm sick and I'm not feeling well. Um, but with this thing moving like it is, guys, it's gonna tear up if it make that thing even hits land. As I'll show you again where it's sitting. It's sitting right here. So right here, as you can see, is in Mexico, and then starting out here, you have the Baja part of California. Drag the map. Okay. Ah, here we go. Here's Genevieve, right here, and it's moving up this way. It's at an advisory number 8, which I have not seen a storm like this since Irma. That sat, and this was just updated a couple hours ago. So I'm gonna wait for the new update to go in while Scarlet is here. And this is just pushing through. We can see the formation of the hurricane right here. Right where this circle's at is the location of the hurricane, and this is the satellite image that it's giving me. If I can pull up the spaghetti model. I pull up the spaghetti model. That thing is what it's going to do. Is it's going to start causing a lot of damage. With even how far away, they're going to start getting wind surges, water surges, especially that thing. Even though it's saying it's going to go straight, it can wrap that way at any point. Guys, it's just not really wanting to be on here at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning reporting this. But guys, it's things you should know. Tips if it does make landfall. Put your social security card and a birth certificate in the freezer and a Ziploc bag. Try to stay in the first or second floor. Do not go into your basement or an attic. I don't care what anybody tells you. Stay out of your attic. I say this predominantly every year with hurricane season. Predominantly every year I tell you I'll stay the fuck out of your attic because this thing makes landfall. You go up in the attic, your house starts flooding. The only thing you're gonna do is you're gonna die. Ah, shit. Ah, you're gonna die. It happens. Now this other one, as like I said, I'm waiting for Scarlet to get here to start updating the second one. So here, comments are working. Comments are working. But guys, this thing is gonna get bad. It's gonna get worse. These storms, the only thing they're gonna do is they're gonna get worse before they get better. Around this time of year is when we see temperatures in the water start to change. We start to see the things change. We start to see um, water temperature, wind temperature, or wind direction. And I just don't like how this thing is moving. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want this thing to do what it's doing. And like, guys, this is how I feel every hurricane season. It's pretty much going to feel how I feel every year when this happens because this thing can go sit its ass down somewhere, not do any damage, and leave us the fuck alone. It's truly how I feel because I've dealt with these things. This is year number 4. This is year number 4 for hurricanes for me. Scarlet, pretty much longer than me. And it's just like I don't want to see these get bigger. I don't want to see these things get bigger. And they get bigger and bigger and stronger and fuck more shit up every year. And I pray that one day we won't have to deal with these no more. And I'm texting Scarlett. Because Scar can give you more updates because she's probably looking at more models than I am. And I'm sitting here trying to look at the models that my Hurricane app provides. And I can show you guys some things. So the one that I'm talking about, Genevieve. So here are the spaghetti models for this SOB. Right here are, oh my God, my brain is still, oh. Here are spaghetti models for you guys are looking at the spaghetti models, you can see each different path they've projected with the storm of where it can go. Now you look at the cone model, that's way too close to the peninsula, or the Baja Peninsula as they would call it, and that's where it's truly sitting. Go over here and look at satellite image. That's what I showed you guys on the National Hurricane Center. This is what it's doing. And you can literally see the winds. Right here is the storm. You can see up here the winds moving with. That's what's going to cause the most damage. Now, it's saying right now that the wind gusts are at 140 mile per hour wind gusts, which is a damaging storm. It's a damaging storm. It's an ugly, 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 ugly storm. No one likes seeing these things. And guys, this is what I do for a living. When you see a Cat 3, there's a chance over time it can go Cat 4, Cat 5, bump back down to a 1. It can bump down into a tropical depression. You never know because I don't really know what the water temperatures are. Let me cross. I don't know where the hell she's disappeared to already. She was supposed to be here with me. Yeah, no. Sorry, guys. This texting Scargo. I'm like, where are you? What? Another thing I want to talk about is these straight winds that. Oh, Scarlet,
Dwayne.
what's up?
Not much.
Tracking these stupid ass storms. It's 5 o'clock in the morning is what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I have
Bad.
not seen. I have not seen
Seen
this
what?
bad of a season since Irma.
Well, yeah, and we know with the Grand Solar Minimum that hurricanes are only going to increase with intensity, increase in numbers, and that's just what we're seeing right now. This is why storms across the country are getting worse as well. This is
Yeah, it
why
is.
we are seeing, yeah, this is why we're seeing things like the fire NATO. This week there was the first time that the National Weather Service in the United States actually put out an alert for a fire tornado. A fire tornado, which we
Did
first
they
saw
really?
the fire, they really did. The first time we saw a fire tornado was in the Carr Fire of 2018, which was
I
during the
remember
time
that.
when like the Paradise fires happened and all those other
Yeah.
fires, Campfire, all those happened in California.
Right.
Well, there's more wildfires right now in California, and like I said, the fire tornado happened. Well, then we also had the derecho this week. I mean, storms have been wild and crazy even in my area for the past week. I mean, TLO and I went through an experience the other night with the tornadoes that came through
What,
the actual
6 within
city.
an hour?
Well, no, there was only one that came down here, but there were six in the state total. But like the storm that we went through, like we called each other afterwards because he was like, "Are you experiencing what I'm experiencing right now?" And I'm like, "Holy shit, yes." And it was just the wildest storm I've ever seen. Like at first it just came in and it started pouring and raining, and then it was almost like in the eye of a hurricane, cuz I have a friend in England who likes to see the storm videos that happen here. And since we have pretty intense storms in America compared to what they have over there, I send her videos. Well, I happened to catch like what I felt was like the eye of the, kind of hurricane thing where all of a
Right.
sudden the wind and rain was going sideways. It was nuts. All of a sudden it just stopped.
What?
Yeah, all of a sudden it just stopped. It got quiet as shit. It got eerie as shit. And then all of a sudden the sirens started going, and then basically the wind whipped back up. And I mean, it was like being in the middle of the eye of a hurricane.
And the one thing about tornadoes is, and I really love this, is like you get that rain surge first, like, and then everything just stops.
Well, not always. This one just happened to be rain wrapped, so these are the most dangerous because you can't see them. I could hear the train noise though. So I was like desperately looking around because where we're at, I can't really see any vantage point around me. And
Right?
so I'm trying to look up, which isn't the smartest thing to do, but that's what Midwesterners do. You go outside and you look. And
Look up. Dude.
yeah, you look up and try to see where it's coming from, you know what I mean? And oh, it's just been absolutely wild. And so with the grand solar
Bro,
minimum, we know that storms are only going to get more intense. They're only going to happen more often. Lightning storms have been just electric all over the country. Wildfires are popping off in Colorado as
you
well in large amounts.
yeah.
In the last 2 weeks, we've had that
And they just
5.1 in North
they what?
Carolina.
They just ordered what, that the mandatory evacuation for Colorado, didn't they?
There's a bunch of mandatory evacuations in Colorado. There's six separate fires.
And like, and the thing is like we had a tornado back. What, Scarlet, was it in? I called him, look you up. Like it was like middle of fucking February. Middle of
It was
fucking no, it
not,
was the
I don't
middle of
think it
fucking
was
March.
February.
It was the middle of fucking March because I remember it because I called Ron, got Ron on the phone, then I called you because I heard that fucking whistling noise. Remember, I told you I went outside,
Right.
and when I walked outside, it was calm. I could feel like the one way best is to even tell with a tornado is like you feel like that warm air, and the next fucking minute it just gets suddenly fucking.
Yeah, the air was just like electric. So, and I mean, people had pictures of the storm, and I mean, this storm was so wild up here that within like 45 minutes, there were pictures from like, five different cities. And like one city that's like maybe a little northeast of me, they had like orange skies. And we had like an orange yellow sky over here, and it was green a little bit too. In another part that's maybe a little bit more north,
Right.
um, where Mr. Tire's mom lives, the sky was blue, like electric blue, like cobalt blue.
Yeah, TLO sent me a picture of the sky that he had, and I lost it because my Discord reset. Which that's everyone knows that's how TLO communicates with hardly everybody,
Right.
just by Discord. And he sent me, and dude, like the sky, like I was looking at, was like a greenish yellow.
Yeah, over at my house it was more kind of orange, and then somebody else had a pink sky. So I mean, literally out of the same storm, we saw orange, we saw cobalt blue, which is ridiculous, pink,
Morning, total
yellow.
vagabonds.
I mean, just wild. Good morning.
You know, and these storms are increasing and increasing and increasing. And, we know the grand solar minimum, me and Scarlett knew at the end of last year that this was going to be the year.
Yep, because last year was really lax for hurricanes. Like we thought last year was going to be like the year
Oh my
because
God. I
the
don't
year
even,
before was so wild and the year before that was so wild that
yeah,
we've
because you
kind of been
had,
we've been following these trends since 2018,
right.
2017,
And I
2018.
didn't get involved with the grand solar minimum much until last year when, if you guys, I
Grand solar
know
minimum much. Oh my god, it's not, you just sounded like Diamond and you don't even realize it. That's so
Scarlett
funny.
has a Facebook page where a lot of people post. I don't remember the damn because you changed it so many times.
I have not changed it that many times. It's extreme weather, grand solar minimum, pole shift, information and volunteers.
That's the one it is. And then we also have uh, a Facebook page for the extreme storms. I don't remember it.
Yeah, it's grand extreme weather, grand solar minimum, Intel, and
What's the one we had?
411.
What's the one that we have for the disaster page, Scarlett? The one that we
Um,
use for the hurricanes.
that's this one, the extreme weather, grand solar minimum, Intel, and civilian volunteers.
I thought we had another. I thought we had another one.
No, I don't think we made it as a group.
Yeah, 2020 disaster response.
Oh, right.
Is that
Yeah,
one?
but this group has, quite a few people, and
Yeah. Oh God, it has like what 2,000 people. Yeah, it has about 2,000 people. You know what, Darren? You make a good point. Cobalt blue can be very particulates in the air, and we see that a lot with storms. I mean, Scar, we seen that with Irma, didn't we? The cobalt blue skies, because we were watching the videos. Scar, I lost Scarlet. Scarlet Anonymous has disappeared. I'm gonna text her. You disappeared.
back.
Hi.
What the shit? Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Well,
fucking know. I
can
was
you hear
talking
me?
to you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
It
Can you
could
hear
be
me?
barium particulates in the air, but with how close some of these cities are to each other, I would have a real hard time believing that it was solely particulates just because within maybe like a 5 to 15-mile radius, each city had a different color.
But I
And
like
I
I
just
was.
think that would, hold on, but I just think that would be really hard to attain by spraying even like chemtrails, because how would you guarantee what chemical was in what area and that it would stay there when there's wind? You get what
Right,
I'm saying?
because
So like
it
that's
would
the only
shift.
thing, like potentially we could have been sprayed, because I have seen more chemtrails in the past week than I've seen in the last like 8 months.
Bro, I've
Um,
seen that too, and that's the weird thing. Even here in Ohio, I've seen it.
they had stopped doing it, and now all of a sudden they're doing it again. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
So
But
my question is here with this because I was telling Darren this. We've seen the cobalt blue skies within Irma, like a
I don't
day or
remember
two
seeing
before this.
that.
It was on the outskirts of Florida. It was like right before the storm hit. I remember I think it was Watchdog or somebody posted the video of it.
It was a
It was
purple
blue.
sky.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was a blue sky, but no, it was purple sky. But
No, it was purple.
but the thing is with these chemtrails picking up, my thing is if these chemtrails are picking up, what if these storms are starting to become man-made again?
I don't think so. Some people do believe it's HARP influenced, and maybe they help juice the signature. But with the grand solar minimum and the way that the solar particles come in from the sun and the albedo effect that it creates down here in the atmosphere, it's because we're getting stronger space weather and our magnetosphere is waning and literally like
Right.
breaking. They said like a piece of the magnetosphere is like literally broken and splitting apart. So it's like, no, I believe it has to do with the solar effects on our planet right now, more so than anything else. And I know that that's hard for some people to subscribe to, but that's just something that I truly believe.
And I want to back Scar up on that, too, with our atmosphere and everything breaking down, because if you look at it, each year when the grand total minimum comes through, we see each year that we've had a bad part of the grand total minimum. Go back to 2016, 2018. Last year wasn't so bad. Then you have this year, and you have hurricanes popping up. You have earthquakes. You have fucking Scarlet State had 6 fucking hurricanes, not hurricanes, fucking tornadoes within the hour. I was looking at, and by the way, them tornado boxes were off the fucking chart.
Holy crap.
I was looking at the tornado boxes, Scar, because when TLO sent me it, saying like it actually touched down.
Right.
I went and started going looking at the tornado boxes and trying to figure out like what's like how wide is it, what's the diaphragm of it, like
Right.
how wide is that tornado box? One of the
Right.
tornado boxes, dude, was a foot to 5 feet fucking long. And I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck? Like I've never seen a tornado box that big. Only time I've ever seen a tornado box that big is when we're dealing with hurricanes.
Oh yeah, where it was like the wall of tornadoes, bro. That was wild.
Bro, the fucking wall of tornadoes with Irma is what pissed me the fuck off, dude. We had like 10 within the fucking, 30 minutes?
Oh, there was more.
Popped.
There was probably 30 tornado warnings in 30 minutes. I never stopped
Bruh.
talking.
You
Like
did.
it was just literally like the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service. Like
Oh
turn
my,
around, don't drown. Like for real, that's all it was. For like
bro, it
45
was like,
minutes. Like it was the most intense period like because these storms were really bad.
in Watchdog, I remember that because Watchdog went like, "Where the fuck? What the hell is happening?" And every 2 minutes, you would hear Scarlett go like, "The National Weather Service, the National Weather Service, turn around, don't drown." And then the one time I heard her going like, "Get out now!" It's like 30 minutes in, going like, "Just get out."
Right?
We were
Well,
all
yeah, and then
fed up with
KP
that.
indices are kind of high right now. So we've got
Yeah,
a little bit of cosmic gray flux going on. And there's expected to even go almost to 3 this week.
please don't, please don't.
I know, it's not good. It's actually quite bad.
Oh my god, I hate when the grand solar minimum kicks in. It kicks in.
Interesting. I haven't watched Mr. MBB333 in a while, and I just went to his website to go look at some maps that I know I can get to easily. And he has opened up a new page called Days of 2020. And he's talked about a lot of different issues that have happened so far this year. Like he's been tracking all the big headlines, right?
Right.
It's really interesting because if you go back to January 2nd, okay,
Oh god.
bushfires were still happening.
Yep.
Also, on that day, the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani was killed in a drone strike.
Yep.
On January 7th, the WHO was notified of the novel coronavirus, known as 2019 nCoV in China.
Correct.
The next day, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced they're stepping down from their duties. January 8th, Iran launches 2 ballistic missiles at military bases in Iraq, injuring American soldiers. which they tried to lie about and act like that didn't happen, but now that's what they're saying. January 8th, a Ukrainian flight crashes in Tehran, killing all 176 passengers on board.
I remember that.
I remember talking about this because of the missile strikes, and was that a retaliation for what occurred? Then
I still don't know if that's
the
I
impeachment trial for Trump began the 16th.
February.
That feels like a lifetime ago, bruh. A lifetime ago.
Bro, it feels like we're not even in 2020. It feels, and I hate to say this, it feels
And
like I'm in
then I know
2025.
it feels well, yeah. And then 23rd of January, Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, goes under unprecedented lockdown. Now we reported so the 23rd of January is when we started doing a lot of our special coverage because we realized once
Yep.
they were locking down Wuhan that this was going to be the buckle up, hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, type of situation.
Grab
And
your
you know,
oxygen mask if you can.
right, and put it on yourself first before anyone else, okay? Because this whole wear the mask thing to help me help you shit is bullshit. Because even on the plane, they tell you put your own mask on first, then worry about somebody else. So, first of all, okay, second of all, then we've got the United Kingdom withdraws finally from the EU on the 31st.
I remember that.
Kobe Bryant dies with his daughter January 26th. That feels like a lifetime
Kobe,
ago.
Kobe. Sorry.
Right. Then the Iowa caucus results are related due to quality control on February 4th. Then Harvey Weinstein, February 11th, WHO names coronavirus disease COVID-19. Then February 24th, Harvey Weinstein is found guilty of third-degree rape and first-degree criminal sexual conduct. Italy becomes the first country to implement a nationwide lockdown on
I
March
remember
10th.
that.
March 11th, the
Yeah.
WHO declares the coronavirus a pandemic. March 13th, Trump declares a national emergency amid the coronavirus pandemic, which is wrong because we had that in February when we had that medical state of emergency. So that's bullshit.
I remember
That
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 medical
is
state of
factually
emergency
wrong because
because,
we reported about that on FRN.
yeah, because me and you came on.
Mm-hmm. So then they say the Dow pledges on March 16th 2,997 points in the worst drop since 1987. April 2nd, global coronavirus cases surpassed 1 million. April 7th, officials in Wuhan, China lift the citywide lockdown after 76 days.
I remember
April
that.
8th,
Me and you looked at
Bernie
each other.
drops out.
Me and you looked at each other going like, the fuck just happened?
Well, yeah, like, it was strange. Then, April 9th, the state of New York alone has the highest number of cases than any country in the world.
2
May
weeks
8th,
later, we all
murder
go on a
hornets,
fucking lockdown.
right? May 14th, global death toll surpasses 300,000, of which all of our governments told us that by this time right now in August, we would have 2 million people dead in the United States. We're
Speaking of the
not
United
even close
States,
to that number.
you want to know what our cases are at?
Hold on, let me finish because I'm almost done.
Okay.
Then May 25th, George Floyd died. May 29th, what sparked the protests and what has been the response? June 11th, timeline of the George Floyd and anti-police brutality protests. June 18th, global COVID-19 death toll passes 450,000. June 21st, WHO reports record daily increase in coronavirus cases. June 22nd, Godzilla dust cloud from Sahara blankets Caribbean on its way to the US. Global death toll from coronavirus June 28th passes 500,000, doubling in less than 2 months.
Huh.
Then, July 2nd, Maxwell arrested in charge to connection to Jeffrey Epstein case. July 8th, Trump administration begins formal withdrawal from WHO. July 20th, announcement that a COVID-19 developed by the University of Oxford is able to trigger immune response and antibodies. July 22nd, California surpasses New York in confirmed coronavirus cases.
Remember
Which
that?
I'm surprised that wasn't put out more because I don't feel like that headline was very much put out.
No, and and I want to
Did
say this real
China
quick.
launches its first mission to Mars? How come we didn't hear about that? The
That's what I want to fucking.
Tianwen-1, a combined orbiter, lander, and rover from Weichang launch site at Hainan Island. How come we didn't hear about that? I didn't hear about that.
I didn't hear about that. We would have covered it.
Hurricane Hannah, first of the 2020 season, July 25th, makes landfall in Texas Gulf Coast as a Category 1 storm. That's the one that hit Corpus Christi.
How I feel about that bitch. Fuck you.
July 27th, WHO Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says that COVID-19 is easily the most severe global health emergency it's faced.
No. Wrong.
August 2nd, worldwide coronavirus cases top 18 million. Part of Tempe Bridge demolished after train derailment.
Remember
Trump
that.
says TikTok August 4th will be banned September 15th.
Now he's trying. Hold on a minute. He wants to ban it. Now he's buying it.
No, he's not buying it. Microsoft was supposed to buy it, but I think that deal fell through.
I ain't deleting TikTok. Ain't happening.
Well, they're going to ban you from it, so you won't be able to get on it, so it ain't going to matter.
Don't take away TikTok. It helps with my mental health.
Then, August 4th, Trump signs the. Hold on, I'm going to pull up the article. Great American Outdoors Act. It will provide $900 million a year to the upkeep of parks, wildlife refuges, and monuments. What the fuck? I
By
don't
the
like
way,
these national parks and shit because I feel like they try to keep some of the best land in the world away from people.
right. By the way, Scarlett, while you're talking, Lake Michigan is going fucking crazy.
Is it?
Hold on, I'll pull up the fucking Facebook video. This thing's going fucking stupid. I just shared it to my Facebook page.
Yeah, you guys call them cyclones in Australia, don't you?
They ain't
I don't think
considered
you guys
hurricane.
call them tornadoes here. No, like cyclone, like a tornado. They call them cyclones.
Right, let me get this video popping so I can show you what the fuck this thing's doing.
I mean,
Are
I
you
know
gonna
they
play?
also call like hurricanes cyclones and stuff too because of or typhoons. They call them typhoons, but I think they call tornadoes cyclones down under.
Oh my god, Facebook, knock it off.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's just like there's a lot of things that have gone on this year, and we're missing a bunch of other things. You know what I mean? So just think about mentally. You know, all the years that I've done radio and things, you know, it's always been like when I first started, and I always say that tell this story because it is really important. When I first started, like you would have a week or two to talk about one story, and that's, you know, that would be like the most important thing that happened this week. Now, you can barely get through the day without having potentially 5, 10, 15, 20 stories that you need to cover.
All right, let me mute this video and I'll pull it up.
What video?
Of Lake Michigan.
Oh, right.
So this is what Lake Michigan is sitting and doing right now. They're saying that it can get up the high waves to reach up to 6 feet.
That's pretty normal for Lake Michigan. Let me go
Yeah,
see
but
what warnings are going on right now. Okay, let's see. There are
here's the
special small craft advisories and beach hazard statements currently. High wave actions and dangerous swimming conditions, strong rip currents expected. North winds of 10 to 20 miles an hour with waves of 3 to 5 feet. In Illinois and Porter County shores in Indiana, up to 4 to 6 feet. And then in Ottawa area, Allegan and Van Buren in Grand Rapids, Michigan, high wave action with 3 to 5 feet.
yeah, this is what it's doing. It's moving, and you
Here's
can
the
tell like
hazardous
how
weather outlook.
you
They
can.
say, please listen to NOAA weather radio. Dangerous swimming conditions can be expected at Illinois and Indiana Lake Michigan beaches throughout this evening.
Yeah, you can see how the water is acting just from like
No, there's
small
some good
ripples.
storms coming your way.
Oh, don't say that.
There is.
Don't. I don't
They're
want
in
them.
the storms are in Dayton right now, but they're gonna start crossing the border.
Don't fucking say that. Don't say that. Please
That's
don't.
happening. I don't know what to tell you. There's no
Charlotte, I
warnings on
love.
the storm. There's no warnings on the storm at all.
There should be because we know how to help. I know this state. I know this storm
There's
state too
no
well.
storm up
Yeah.
by Lake Michigan though. It's down by you.
So why the hell is that going off like it is?
I don't know. I don't. That's a good ass question, isn't it?
Because we're sitting here watching Lake Michigan right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you a picture of the radar, and it literally just looks like chaff signature. It doesn't even look like there's a storm up there at all.
So then, what the
That's
hell is making this
interesting.
go off like it
I
is?
don't. That isn't that a good ass question? Because it doesn't. There's nothing there.
So if
And
this
they
is
do
going off
say
like it
quiet
is,
weather through Friday. Quiet and dry weather is expected through Friday on Lake Michigan across West Michigan. Large waves and strong currents will make dangerous for some West Michigan beaches on Tuesday. Yeah, there's no storms though. Quiet and dry weather.
so then why the
Is
fuck is one of the Great Lakes going off?
that's a good question because usually that only occurs with storm activity.
Right, and you know what, and that's the thing here, and I want to stop video sharing. I want to
And
tell
I
you something.
wonder too,
I have
they
a
were
Great
just
Lake.
talking about the New Madrid not having popped off yet. And having activity like that, like the Great Lakes sloshing around, makes me wonder if potentially, there couldn't be some seismic activity that's happening that's basically unregistered. And that's what we're
So
seeing.
that makes me ask: is Lake Erie popping off? Because that's what we have here in Ohio. Is the Great Lake is Lake Erie. So that makes me wonder:
Yeah,
is
we
Lake
have
Erie getting?
Superior here. So,
So
yeah,
my
they are
question
cyclones. So I was right.
is Lake Erie going to start popping off? Because if Lake Erie pops off, I'm
Did you look
sorry.
at the warnings? Let's go look at the warnings and see if there's
Did
any
you send
warnings
it to
for
me
it.
yet?
No, I didn't send it to you yet.
All right, let's go look at Lake Erie warnings. I want to see this.
Okay, hold on, let's see. Erie is the one that is on top of Ohio, right?
Yeah, it's the Cleveland area.
Mm, click. Okay, there we go. Cleveland, Ohio. Hazardous weather outlook. Beach hazard statement. Nope. Only Lake. Oh, Erie. Michigan waters of Lake Erie to Detroit River to North Cape, Michigan. Small craft advisory for portions of the Lake Huron nearshore water shores. They say refer to the latest marine forecast for more information. So let's go see if we can find the marine forecast. Marine
I think
Okay,
Marine
Lake
Forecast and National
Erie.
Weather Service.
Yeah, I already found it. Lake Erie. I'm gonna pick a point off of Lake Erie to try to see what we can get. View this latest observation.
Just
No, that's
penny
for the
point
hurricane. I
for.
don't want that. Mm, let's see. Wave height was 1 foot as of 5 a.m. So that's not anything. So no, they're not. It's not popping off at Erie. Just
Well, it's
Michigan,
going.
because you got to think about
It's
it.
going to.
Either Huron or Erie would have to be going off to make that side go off. So it's on the other side.
So with Lake Michigan going off, we could see a rise in shit with Erie. That's fucking.
No, no, because Erie's on the other side with Huron. No, it's too far away.
But I still want to know what's making a Great Lake pop off.
Sometimes they can have like something's churning the water, let's put it like that. So something either pressure wise or other is making it do that because it's not storms.
I don't know, man. I'm just tired of all the bullshit. I think you should think about leaving it at a Dodge before big shit happens. Just saying, total vagabonds. I'm sorry, I really don't have anywhere to go.
Well, like I said, eventually there might be a choice where you have to, so just always keep that in mind.
Oh, I do. Trust me. I have an emergency evacuation plan in my phone in case me and my mom ever have to dodge the fuck up out of here.
Right.
Bro, it
You
would
have
hurt.
to though. And I'm already moving to my new homestead, so I'm not too worried. I'll be fine.
I'm just worried when I move down to Marietta next year because not only am I further away from a Great Lake, but I'm on the Ohio River border.
Yeah, we should. I don't know who would be if I just shared something about the New Madrid earlier.
You know, but
Let me see if I can find that because that's important because it depends on where that's gonna hit to where you'd have issues.
if the storm is staying in Dayton, if it stays, and you know what, and I feel bad because Dayton got hit really hard last year. Okay, Dayton because I remember me and Scarlett. It was either at the beginning of this year or earlier last year. When was it, Scarlett? That tornado came and wiped through Dayton, Ohio. Was it this year?
Um, I don't quite remember.
Or was it the end of last year when the shit with me and my ex was going on?
Good point. I don't know. Maybe
You know,
last
the
year.
beginning. Yeah, it was last year. And if there's another storm getting ready to come through Dayton, I'm gonna feel bad, dude, because they still have not really recovered.
Yeah. Okay. So Ohio, like the southern half of Ohio, shit. If the New Madrid goes off.
If the New Madrid goes off, that's southeast and about.
It will
Don't
take out
fucking
150 miles. The infamous New Madrid fault may take out 150 miles of the Midwest and end up more devastating than the San Andreas Big One, which is also overdue. Way back in 1811 and 1812, a series of over 1,000 earthquakes rocked the Mississippi River between St. Louis and Memphis. One was so powerful that it caused the river to run backwards for a few hours. Today, scientists say the 150-mile long New Madrid seismic zone has a terrifying 40% chance to blast in the next few decades, impacting 7 states. And
what states.
well, it doesn't say yours, but I'm telling you, with the map that they showed, you will have activity. With 715, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi, which half of those states you goddamn border damn near. So it's like, no, you're going to have some issues. And with two.
Scar, we lost you again.
Damn it. Okay, so then it says that there were so many earthquakes that day that it began with an intense intraplate earthquake that ended up being a magnitude 7.5 to 7.9 on December 16th, 1811, and was followed by a moment magnitude 7.4 aftershock. It remains the most powerful earthquakes to hit the contiguous United States east of the Rocky Mountains in recorded history. So here's the actual fault map that shows that you will have issues. Now, not as bad as the other states that I mentioned, but it's still some activity.
Oh yeah, dude, Marietta's gonna get fucking clipped.
Yep. See, because I believe they're in that
Because
red
here it
portion.
is, and I'm not showing your name or anything, so we're good. That's the fucking fault lines. So I'm gonna blow up my part of the fucking state. I'm right where that blue dot's at. That's the middle of the state.
Yep. Yep.
No, you
What?
bitch.
Yeah. Don't touch it. Just look at it.
So right there where the blue dot is, going down into the edge of Ohio, right here where my tip of my fingers at, is the border of the state where Scarlet now since he fucking told me that. That's where my fucking fiance's at. Uh,
I know.
I don't like this.
I know.
Robin Williams, can we have the fucking board back so we can end this shit? Like, who has the Jumanji board? I want it. Scarlet, Scar, who has the Jumanji board? You
I
have
don't
it?
know, but yeah,
You
I
have
didn't
it?
have all this shit on my bingo apocalypse card.
Okay, and I want to talk about this for a minute because it just popped in my head. I called Scarlett 2 days ago, and I asked her, "Did you have the Annabelle doll escaping on your apocalypse card?" And she went like, "Wait, what? It's what? Did you just say it's
Right.
gone?"
Yeah,
Scar,
the freaky, creepy ass Annabelle doll.
bro, if I see that doll in my house, bro, I'm out of here. Fuck that. That doll can stay the fuck away from me. I've done too much research on that fucking doll. And to give the research behind the doll, it's a conduit. You still with me, Scarlett?
Mm-hmm.
It's a conduit. So it starts at the beginning stage of the 3 stages of possession, which I'll look it up. 3 stages of possession. Okay. So the 3 stages of possession, and this is what this doll does. As soon as I go back to it.
Oh, hold on. Let me answer Darren real quick. Yes, I will be biodynamic farming. Um, that is definitely a thing. So we're gonna try to do the best we can. I'm gonna do a lot of planning over winter. This to do a lot of planning. You
So
know.
this is what this doll does. Now these are the 3 stages of possession, and I'm going to read this damn thing. It is important to understand that it is very rare for a person to become possessed. It is even more rare for a person to immediately become possessed by a demonic spirit out of the blue. There are typically 3 stages of possession. These stages are known as infestation, oppression, and possession. I first learned about these, and this is true for me too, because I didn't know this. I first learned about these stages in watching the 2013 film The Conjuring, starring Vera Farminga and Patrick Wilson, which everyone knows The Conjuring is fucking based off of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, here's the thing. These two had the fucking doll. They died. It's been in their museum ever since. How the fucking dog get out the museum?
I think Lorraine Warren just died recently, though.
Lorraine just died. It was either last year or the year before. I think it's been about 2 years she's been gone. But here's the thing. They've investigated this doll. They know this doll is trouble. And it says in the case, absolutely do not touch. Who the fuck touched the doll? Where's the doll at? Can we have it back, please? Can you put it back in the fucking safe?
Right?
Like I told Scarlett, and she went like, that was definitely not on my bingo apocalypse card. Just like what, brain eating amoebas in fucking Florida, killer bees. I mean, me and Scarlett already had hurricanes on our fucking apocalypse card. That just fucking happened. Scarlett, by the way, I have to call fucking bingo because everything I fucking said has came to life.
I don't even think we got a bingo yet. The bingo card is so big, we're doing a blackout. Like, that's the only way you win 2020 Apocalypse Bingo is you got to get a full blackout, like 2 card blackout.
I
So
don't
I
want a
don't even
two
think
card
we're
blackout.
doing it.
Shut up.
I
No,
mean, but that's what they're doing to us.
no, I don't want to fucking.
I mean, just with everything going on right now, it's just wild.
I know. I need my fucking cigarettes. Where the fuck's my cigarettes? I lost my cigarettes. Where the fuck am I at? Man, I don't want this fucking man. If I will say this, 2020 is one of the worst years that me and Scarlett has ever dealt with together in 4 years. Is your phone dying?
Yes.
Plug it in. There's a cigarette. Plug it in. Plug it in.
I just feel like this cord doesn't work. And I don't
I
know
just,
why, but I just feel like it's having a hard time. So I'm gonna try to plug it into my extra charger box and see if that.
I just want to. I still want to fucking know who has the fucking doll. Like this ain't funny, Scarlett. And we're both ministers. And if it says absolutely warning, do not touch, Scarlett, me and you both know what that means. Do not touch it. What is
Damn it,
that?
Dwayne. Don't say anything, but if I get cut off, you need to send a link to that number.
I got you.
Right.
I got you. Let me copy the link. I'm gonna pop in on StreamYard on my phone. Give me a minute. Y'all might hear a little bit of that going. I'm sorry, but I gotta do this for a quick minute.
Biodynamic is the way to go. It's the only way to be self-sustaining. I mean, at this point, you got to think about, permaculture and the big picture and how you can, tie in all these closed loops so that you can have a nice um, functioning system to work off of, right? And so that's what I think is the most important why permaculture, biodynamic farming, these concepts and ideas,
It's there, Scar,
self
in case you need it.
self sustainability, become quite popular themes for people
You hear me?
because yes, at this point in life, um, we have to think about ways that we can sustain ourselves outside of the government, outside of being able to go to the store, outside of, normal methods and modalities.
Me and my
And it's
mom are gonna start
unfortunate.
buying meat from a butcher.
You should. And you should start trying to get contacts in your state for farms and find out where to go to get meat from farms. So let's say, things start to collapse.
My
You
grandpa
can
already has that
still
covered for us.
yeah, but are you going to be able to drive all the way out there and get the meat and bring it home and do all that? Seriously, like really
He
think
does it
about
all.
that.
He does it all
How
right
far away
there.
is he from you though?
Not that far, like 45 minutes. My grandfather even said he'll bring
Then
it
why
out to
don't
us.
you get the meat through him then?
Dude, that's what we're doing. My
Oh,
grandpa's
right.
just waiting until he butchers this cow, and then he's gonna bring us, I think, like 12, 13, 14 pounds of hamburger.
I mean, there's a lot more than that when you kill a cow, but
Well, he's about to
yeah.
butcher a 300, I think he said a 425-pound cow that he's getting ready to butcher. But no, it's like this, and like, are you still with me, Scar? I lost Scar, guys. She'll be back. She'll be back. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do.
Shut up, Dwayne.
Oh, hi, Scar.
I'm back.
But no, and I want to go back to the last subject.
Yeah, Apocalypse Bingo card. Have you not heard of this concept, Darren? Okay, so like all of these things at this point, basically people have made a joke out of, and it's kind of like you're betting on what's going to happen. And so people have made these pre-made Apocalypse Bingo cards, and it's kind of a joke the next time you hear like a really outrageous headline. Like, oh, did somebody have fire tornadoes on their 2020 Apocalypse Bingo card? Did somebody have hurricanes on their Apocalypse Bingo card?
Me and Scarlett
Because at
did.
this point, it's just a joke with how many bad things are happening continuously that we've got to be winning some type of fucked up game at this point.
It
I
feels,
think that's just how people felt.
and you know what? And me and my buddies were talking about the fucking apocalypse bingo card because we all
Ooh,
literally
that'll
got
be
under
exciting.
because we
He said
all
he's
say
putting together a book on farming and gardening. Continue.
because we were all talking about this fucking bingo card and we all fucking downloaded the picture on our phone. And it's like a good
Oh
three,
yeah,
4 fucking pictures worth of fucking bingo cards.
yeah,
And we're
dude.
all
People have
sitting there,
all types of crazy bingo cards.
we're sitting there and editing our bingo cards. And this is the day I was
Yeah,
talking
because
to you.
some of this stuff is actually like coming true.
Right.
Like there was
And
like
on the
meth
one bingo card,
gators. There's been like cannibal rats. There's been murder hornets. I mean, the wildlife is just turning. I just don't even know what
bro,
to say.
and I'm looking at the one bingo card and it said Annabelle doll. And I'm going like,
And it's like, dude, Annabelle gets loose.
and, and I'm going like, me and Scarlett are both ministers. Okay. I'm going to point that out now. And you guys, everyone knows in the FRN knows that I'm a minister. I preach here in the FRN. I'm getting back to, by the way, I got my guitar picks and I won't lose them. But anyways, I'm sitting there and I'm going, and once I saw it on the card, dude, I dropped to my knees. I'm going like, God, whoever has this doll, please either strike them dead or put the doll back. Like, Scarlett, I've done so much of my here. I'm gonna give you all a little fucking insight on this Annabelle doll, okay?
There's been
And
some really good shows on it. I don't even know if you could find the old Darkness Radio podcast anywhere, but there is a local radio show that eventually went national because now Dave Strader.
bro, oh my
Let me
fucking
finish.
god,
Don't cut me off because Dave Strader actually hosts the Midnight in the Desert show that was Art Bell's before Art Bell passed away, and then he gave it to Heather Wade, and then something happened with Heather and they got rid of her, and then Dave Schrader was in because he had been hosting on Coast to Coast AM. And so I know Dave and his partner Tim, and not like love partner, but like I should have said co-host Tim. And they have done really good interviews about the Annabelle doll and about some of the legends behind it and just some of like the strange happenings that have occurred, especially at the Warrens residence, since the doll has been in the Warrens possession.
oh thank God, the doll's not missing.
What did
Nope,
you
never
think was
mind.
missing?
Yahoo just said that someone went to go film the Annabelle doll and it wasn't there. Well, so Annabelle, I'm gonna read what Wikipedia has on the Annabelle doll.
Mm-mm.
Okay. According to the Warrens, a student nurse was given the doll in 1970. They say the doll behaved strangely and that a psychic medium told the student that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a deceased girl named Annabelle. The student and her roommate tried to accept and nurture the spirit possessed doll, but the doll reportedly exhibited malicious and frightening behaviors. It was at this point the Warrens say they were first contacted moving the doll to their museum, and after pronouncing it demonically possessed, the doll remains in a glass box at the Warren Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. Texas State University professor of religious studies Joseph Laycock says most skeptics have dismissed the Warrens Museum as a full of off-the-shelf Halloween junk toy dolls and toys, but you could buy at books. You can buy at any bookstore. Logcock calls the Annabelle doll legend an interesting case study in the relationship between pop culture and paranormal folklore. But let me tell you this about the fucking Annabelle doll, okay? If anyone's ever
Mm-hmm.
fucking watched the first fucking Conjuring movie, you see in the beginning of the fucking movie, you see this creepy ass fucking doll.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the behaviors the doll exhibits. They throw it in the fucking dumpster, they come back in the fucking house, the doll's in the fucking closet, right all over the fucking closet walls. Right all over the fucking bedrooms going like, hi, 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 trying to communicate. No, fuck that doll. I Charlotte, and I love fucking folklore and shit like that, but I would not step into that museum. Fuck that. That's one thing I will not do.
Look at my produce, y'all.
Oh, you got some good shit. Good shit.
I grew this. So this is some of my bounty that came from the farm that we grew on the farm this year. So obviously giant zucchini that we forgot about that we couldn't see. Um, Smaller zucchini that we could see. And then lots of different peppers like serrano peppers and green pepper and then some tomatoes that are ripening and then some little yellow pear tomatoes.
Bro, you
So
got some
very
good shit.
excited about that. Yeah, very excited, very thrilled. Did a good job so far this year and
So,
I have
Scarlett,
so much produce right now, like it's absolutely ridiculous. Like literally everywhere in my house, I have produce, and I don't know what to do with it all because I just have so much. At this point, I need to like dehydrate or can or do something with it because there's just so much going on. And then this is my organic red potato harvest, and everything's organic, nothing's GMO, all grown organically, no chemicals. So that's also important too. So only natural pesticides, only natural fertilizer, all listed for organic production and harvest. So
right? So,
that's
Scarlett,
important too.
I have a question for you.
Yes, Dwayne.
As a minister, okay,
Hmm.
if you go into this museum,
Hmm.
okay, and you see someone
I'm
touching that
bringing
animal,
first of all, I'm bringing holy water.
so and you see someone fucking with this doll, are you gonna do anything, or are you gonna let them face the fucking consequences of playing with the doll?
I don't know. It depends.
Like, because
I
like
guess. I
I
mean,
don't know.
can I save someone from themselves? Like, I don't know.
Like, because who wants to touch that damn doll after hearing what it's done?
Have you heard about the doll that was in Florida? It's like a killer doll.
I don't want to talk about
I
it.
think the name is like Jeremy or something.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, there is a crazy doll out there.
I don't want to talk about it. That doll to home. I heard about that doll and I went like, nope. See, and this is the bad thing of being a minister. This is the stuff we deal with. In as ministers, Scarlett, a lot of people discredit us, for what we do.
Right.
They go like, oh, the only thing you guys do is marry people and that's it. As ministers, dude, we pray over people, we fight demons with other people, um we pray out spirits, and that can take hours and hours upon ends. That at that point it's not considered an exorcism, because an exorcism is more hands on and more trying to tie someone down to a fucking chair so they don't go upside down. I've seen it happen during an exorcism, and it's creepy. The chair flipped upside down.
That sounds creepy.
Okay, so listen, story time. I helped with an exorcism 2 years ago, and this person literally went upside down in their chair, dangling up in the air with their chair, while tied to the chair. You want to know what I said? Nope, I'm out of here. And I walked out like, yeah, no, I'm not dying today. But as a minister, we deal with more extensive stuff. We hear people's pain, like me being a minister and I'm allowed back in the hospitals now to pray with people.
Mm-hmm.
Hospitals have opened up visitation, and I can go in, and with my clergy card,
They're
ask,
not here. I
and
mean,
ask,
clergy was always able to kind of go in before, but not here. They're not. They're not as forgiving right now.
right. And, like, everywhere I go, I normally try to have a bottle of holy water on me or anointing oil. Um, anointing oil is basically, what did you say it was, Scarlett? Like palm tree oil or something like that? Anointing oil?
Yeah, like you can use a lot of different oils for anointing oil, but you usually use like myrrh, frankincense.
We can barely hear you. And Scarlett, and my next question for your apocalypse bingo card: did you have that they would start locking mailboxes?
Did we have what?
Like they started locking postal office boxes. This is what they're doing. They're putting locks on the drop boxes for the postal office.
Well, yeah, I did actually kind of have that on my apocalypse bingo card, and I'll tell you why. Because remember when the pandemic first started and they were telling everybody to order shit, but it was taking like a bajillion weeks to get anything online, and like
Right.
everywhere was super back ordered. I thought the post office might collapse over that.
Right. And Darren, it is very draining for me. And as Scarlett, I put a lot of hours into everything that I do
Hmm.
spiritually. I just wanted to respond to him because me and Scarlett, I put hours into that Bible. I think we had like a 7, 8 hour phone call just going through the book of Revelations.
Right.
It is draining. But back to this post office box thing, like
Yeah,
that's
this
one
is
thing
potentially dangerous. Like I don't know if it's a mixture of
that wasn't
just
on my card.
pure incompetence, if it's purposeful, because they're towing mail trucks, mail boxes are being taken, mail sorting machines are being taken from the post offices. What'd you just do?
Ow. I got smoke in my eye.
Oh, I
If
wasn't
you
looking.
smoke cigarettes, you know that hurts.
It does hurt, but that's was like I wasn't looking, so I was like, "Ooh, what'd you do?"
Cigarettes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, see sandalwood, but like I said like frankincense, myrrh, cassia were
Pretty much
all
is
were all
pretty
oils of the Bible.
yeah, pretty much is what anointing oil is made into.
Yeah, you could use a combination of any of those oils because at least those are the oils that are talked about in the Bible. But I
You,
digress.
you
Back
know,
to the post office box thing though. This is what's concerning is because is it more about the election or something else happening that we're not noticing? Is there some potential corruption going on in the post office?
and speaking about the election, Joe's vice president even isn't even legible to be VP because
Right?
her parents were
Not citizens at the time of her birth.
non-citizens.
Right.
So how the fuck is she getting away with that?
Well, just like everybody else who hasn't had the proper credentials in the past.
And
People still believe that Obama was born in Hawaii, even though the birth certificates were forged. They couldn't find them forever, and then all of a sudden, magically, they found one out of the state of Hawaii. There's still people who get upset if you even bring up that idea, right?
and you know
And
what?
I
And I
and
was
even if it's not true, we need to verify the anomalies that do exist, right?
right.
Because for instance, like how do you go from Barry Soetoro to Barack Obama, right?
Uh,
Like that's a big deal because why were you known as a different name in school? Why did your school ID have a different name? Nobody ever wants to talk about that.
I do.
Nobody ever, he admits it a little bit, but he skirts around like the whole thing. And it's like, no, dude, it's pretty weird to be an adult and change your whole name. Like, I get as a kid maybe doing it, but as an adult, like, what were you trying to hide from? Or why would you enroll in school that way unless you wanted to have a different persona, right? So, even if you got to think about that, right? And so they don't care. They'll push people who are ineligible. They will push people who are not fit for office. They were trying to prop up Hillary, even though she ended up having that major episode that day, and
Yeah,
basically
because you
collapsed.
saw
And
the
then they
dude
said
putting
that
the
she had
needle in her.
died on the news. No, no, no. This is the day she collapsed outside of before the speech during the election. And you would have been young at this point. You would have been like maybe 18, maybe 17 at the time, even. And she collapsed outside after, like, I think it was before she was going to go speak somewhere. And then they rushed her off. And then they said they brought her to this weird private hospital that was like in a house. And then New York News had came out and said Hillary Clinton is dead, and then they tried to cover it up and act like, oh no, that was just an accident that we put that across the screen, yada yada yada, she's fine, and then had her walk out of that hospital like within like 2 hours after she collapsed,
You
and
know,
that's when
and I seen a video on Facebook that during her speech for when she was running for president, that her bodyguard or somebody shoved a needle in her side.
I didn't see that, but like
I
there were a
saw
lot of
that
weird
video.
anomalies that happened to her when she was like speaking to people and like nodding her head all weird everywhere, and like she like glitched out is the best way to explain it. I don't know. Like the
You know,
cyborg model glitched out.
right? And then let's talk about this: is all these crazy theories that Trump is coming up with. Because I watched a video from Now This News on
Okay.
Facebook. I can't remember the actual name of it. I shared a couple clips on my Facebook
I
page.
think it is now. I think it's called Now This or
So
This Now.
I was sitting here watching these videos, and Trump was saying that the WHO was severely late on announcing novel coronavirus. He said that in March. Mind you, the WHO named
Was informed, like we just read, on the 7th of January.
and they what a couple not that much afterwards they named it a global pandemic on
Yeah, by
January
the
23rd.
middle of, and I would say no, by the middle of February is when they were doing all these press conferences and such.
So, and my thing, we really didn't know what this was. So, for Trump to come out and say that we really dropped the ball, that the WHA really dropped the ball, going like, did you know how much time and effort it took for the WHO to figure out if this was a pandemic? And then he said this swine flu is what ended World War II. And I'm a history buff. I'm going to give you a little bit of education. Swine flu happened in 1914 and 1918 in the First World War because America didn't get involved until 1917. World War II is 1939 to 1945. The U.S. didn't get involved until December 7th, 1941, which we all know is a day that will go down in infamy because we were bombed severely. So, where I want to know where our not my he's not my president, God's my president, but where is he getting this information? Like, you see what I'm saying, Scarlett?
Hmm.
Where is Trump getting this information to start bashing everybody when, dude, you didn't do nothing until later in March when you put us under a national emergency? Can we talk about that?
Well, the national emergency is basically like, martial law, and we've been in that since, late January, really,
Right,
and
but when he
early
came out and
February.
officially said it, though,
I think it was
so I'm
early
like,
February,
so
late January.
if you want to come out and say the WHO is behind, no, sir, you were really the one behind because you didn't start taking action until early February.
Well, not only that, he tried to take action, but remember when he tried to stop flights and tried to restrict travel and movement, they called him a racist and told him that was ignorant and would tank the economy. But then all of a sudden, they were super cool with shutting down all the economies and shutting down all the action for commerce around the world.
Right.
But he was wrong for trying to stop travel from the literal place that it was emanating from at a time when it was Chinese New Year, and the
The
best thing
biggest
to
fucking
do,
event in
the
China.
biggest, right, and it's the largest migration of human migration in the world. So when you think about the largest human migration is happening in the world at the time, there's supposedly a novel virus that's running around, of which a lot of people believe that it's not novel due to the fact that T cells are involved, and these marker cells are really important for showing resistance to disease. And people are generating these T cells, and so it may not be as novel as people think, because if it was a novel virus, you wouldn't necessarily be able to create T cells to protect yourself from it, you see. Because usually something like that your body's been exposed to in one form or another at some point. And so your body would really become overcome if you hadn't been exposed to it. So a lot of research, and they'll never admit that though if that's true, because then that will screw the narrative that we need a vaccine, you see. Because they're even now saying that, oh, you should get your MMR immunization because
Ah,
MMR can protect from coronavirus. What kind of fucking clinical trial study have you done on MMR since coronavirus started that somehow you know it's going to work for that? This
right.
is so ignorant.
And
Like
like Scarlett,
they're just, they know they're not making enough money because number one, people aren't going to the hospitals. Number two, the people who are going to the hospitals, they want there for COVID so they can collect the extra COVID money. And so they're not going to address the issues. So people aren't going into clinics as much right now. People are skipping, regular appointments and things that they can wait for that aren't dire emergent needs. And that puts a strain on the financial stability of these clinic systems.
and like Scarlett warned everybody, we warned everybody to not get the flu shot. What does Dwayne do? Goes and gets the flu shot 3 weeks later.
Like a dumbass.
And asked Scarlett, I was sick for weeks.
Yep. Lockdown till December 1st. What the
Yikes.
shit? You know what? Australia's losing the plot, you guys. Like, I don't
They're
know
losing
what's
their
going
shit.
on, man. Like, I hate to be the guy to like throw the toys out the pram, but damn, like, it's just at this point we have to stand up and say something about what's happening in Australia. They're talking about they can take families, separate families away from each other. All they are taking out ATMs and banks and no longer allowing transactions. What happens when people are cut off completely from being able to get funds? What if some people only transact in cash? A lot of people don't have, the proper credit to get a bank account. Do they have all the prepaid card systems like they have in America? And with taking away the banks, how do you load them? So it's becoming a real serious state in Australia. We really need to pay attention to what's happening down there. And even New Zealand locked back down after they just said, oh, we eradicated the virus. We've had no new cases in so many blah, blah, blah days. They just locked down even harder in New
We're
Zealand.
going to be
It
under
makes
lockdown again in
absolutely no
September.
sense.
In November, we're going to be locked down again.
I don't know. I think it's going to happen in September personally or October before the election. It'll be convenient.
If I get locked down and can't move when I'm down in
They're already
Marietta,
talking about like they're already talking about like today on like last night on my local news. They were trying to make it such a big deal like, "Oh, so many more people are in the hospital." And literally they show the numbers and it was like 153 people were in the hospital and it changed to 158 people and that was just such a big deal. That's like four more people and like what the shit? And
I'm
they
just,
don't say in these ICU hospitalizations if they're actual COVID cases. They're just reporting how many people are in ICU. So how do we know that they're not there in ICU for other purposes besides COVID? Because they don't mention that. They just say total ICU beds. They don't say total ICU beds used for COVID-19. So I
right.
feel
And
like
like the
they're just
thing
including
is like,
everybody.
and like the thing is you guys have known I've been in the hospital twice, for my seizures back to back within a 3 week span. You want to know how they do my COVID test, Scarlett?
Yeah, throw the toys out the pram. Like, yes, that's real. I take
Scarlett,
that from my friends, in the UK across the pond and down under. But it's real. It's a good euphemism because it's like, no, I'm gonna throw a big ass fit about this. We all
right.
should.
And when I'm in a hospital, they check me for novel coronavirus, but they
Hmm.
don't do it by a swab. When they take me in for my CT scan, they scan my chest area because they don't think I know what the hell they're doing. Mind you, I'm the seizure patient. Protocol is as soon as I get there, a CAT scan is supposed to be already ordered for my name, and I'm supposed to get in the room, get set up, get the IV, and then get to the CAT scan. Right?
Right.
They put my head in, and next thing you know, they put my upper chest in there. Bitch, I know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, because the head one, your head stays in that thing, and they put that halo thing over it.
That's an MRI, is where they trap your head in.
Oh yeah, the CT scan is where just the thing goes across you. But yeah, they did a full
Yeah,
body CT.
they did a full body CT of my upper half. The first time, not the second time. Second time, they checked my white blood cells. I'm not dumb when you're drawing a blood panel. I used to be a paramedic. I know what a blood panel is.
Yeah, and those two, how many tubes they have indicate what test they'd be taking, and certain tests have certain top
They
colors.
they ran 3 tests the last time I was in there. They were checking my white blood
Yeah,
cells.
but the vial, I don't know if you even know this because you're not like a phlebotomist, but at the same time, you should know this, that the vacutainer tubes that have different colors are used for different tests in the lab. And
Yep, I know
so,
that.
yeah, so you can tell how many tests and what tests specifically they're doing because certain vacutainer tubes only you pull for certain tests.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
I
the
want to
shit
make.
you got to pay attention to. I know you haven't thought of that before while you've been in the hospital, but next time really think about that because you know that there's only like 8 or 10 vacutainer tubes total, and they all have different rubber color tops. All those different rubber color tops are different panels.
I know. I want to make everybody laugh here for a minute. So I'm on Facebook looking at something, and it says Annabelle
Oh,
doll.
yeah,
It
I
says,
saw the video because I have access, obviously, because I'm the owner of Freedom Revolution Network. To that video that you shared to FRN. Um, and I got to sit down and actually watch it. But I feel like something big is going to happen. I mean, there's already rolling blackouts happening in California.
you know what, Darren? And
So
I do want to
to
say
say
thank
that,
you.
hold on. So just give me one more second. To say that Australia is the test case, I think that's a really probable thing because, as I just said, we're already starting to see some of the tactics that are being used in Australia now put forward in America. And like the rolling blackout thing, that was never a thing that happened in America before this, ever. And I do believe that PG&E potentially even purposefully damaged some of their equipment or refused to repair it so that this could happen because they know that they own the monopoly out there in California for power. I don't think people around the world realize this, but America's power is probably more monopolized, if not more corrupt than even probably third world power, just because only one company is allowed to give it to you and you have to go through them and there's no choice, there's no diversity. You can't choose a different company if you don't like their service. You have
Right.
to use that service. There's no one to complain to besides the Public Utility Commission, which is comprised of all the people that are in the company. So you tell me it's not a racket when the government regulatory agency are the people who work for the company. Whose side are they going to be on, the people or the company? I think the company. And so
Yeah.
people don't realize that you don't get a choice, and these people literally hold their lives in your hands. If they don't want to start servicing areas, or if they start saying that your equipment's failing or infrastructure's falling and you start losing power for days on end, most people aren't going to be able to really survive.
Right. And I want to make everybody laugh for a minute, Scarlett. You're gonna laugh when I show this video. Once my Facebook page says me stupid. Scarlett, you ready? Annabelle leaving the museum like this.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Stupid. Stupid.
I thought it was relevant because we talked about it.
It is relevant.
You
That's
know, but like
fine. But
California
it's
getting ready
true
to.
though. It's scary though when you really think about all what's about to potentially happen, and we're just basically teetering on collapse. They're not telling us how bad the economies really are. Most businesses have been basically gutted. Um, you know, Places are going into bankruptcy left and right.
Yeah, they
I
are.
just saw a commercial fucking tonight. Are you guys ready for this shit? I don't even think you're ready for this shit. So I'm gonna see if I
Not
can try to find it on YouTube or on the state website or something so that we could replay it for everybody. But there's a new stay at home Minnesota commercial, right? Which is our campaign to, do all the COVID bullshit. They literally said on this commercial, besides like wear mask, social distance, blah, 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 do your part, all this other shit, we won't be returning to normal, but we can find ways to make it better together.
Oh God.
They literally said we're not returning to normal, which I think is so funny because how long have they been pushing it's the new normal, it's the new normal, it's the new normal. And when things go back to the way they were, blah blah blah. And everybody's been pushing that, but literally in this commercial from the state of Minnesota, they literally said we're not going back. So I think people really need to take heed and listen to their words because now they're telling you this is how it's going to be. And I don't understand how anybody who has even, heard about the quote unquote conspiracy theory about the New World Order doesn't realize that that is the mechanism that has taken over. I
Yep.
just do not even understand how people don't even fathom that this is happening. Literally all our rights are being stripped away from us and everybody's like it's for the greater good, it's for public health. This is why a lot of quote unquote anti-vaxxers fought for so many years so hard to not be targeted about these otherwise harmless diseases, because we knew if something like this happened, the people would not be able to disseminate the information to understand what's actually harmful and deadly to them. And this is exactly what we're going through because people just do not understand. They want to listen to quote unquote experts who can tell you literally any bullshit thing they want, and people will believe it and they won't go look it up. They won't go fact check it. They won't go see if that's actually true or find disseminating opinions and then form their own opinion. Because, I remember in school being taught to look at many different opinions to try to form your own opinion and try to find as many sources of information as possible to then make a educated opinion. Now you're
Right.
just supposed to take whatever authority tells you what to do, and then that's supposed to be the law of the land, and that's supposed to be the end of it. And you're not supposed to question it. And if you do, you're a selfish asshole, or you don't care about anybody else, or how dare you not worry about the health of others when most people are wearing the same ass funky mask that they've been wearing every day, going into bathrooms and things with this mask on that probably has fecal bacteria all over it, that then is sitting in a warm, moist environment where your air isn't able to get out and your mouth isn't circulating. So now people are getting what they call mask mouth, which is rotting their teeth, giving them periodontal disease. They said it they're seeing is just as bad as effects as doing meth.
Oh my God.
And this is what they're doing to the world. They've got the world thinking that this is going to save them. If they really wanted to save us, they would issue all of us little pandemic bunny suits. If the virus is as bad as what they say, they would have already issued us all pandemic suits. We'd all have shields and medical grade masks like N95 without vents or whatever the hell they want that they say is approved and appropriate. When in the beginning they said, oh, just wear a bandana, wear a scarf, wear this, wear that. And now they're starting to pick on the choices that people are making for face coverings. Like, oh, you can't wear a gaiter. A gaiter is worse than wearing a cloth mask or this or that. When people are literally wearing less than a t-shirt weight fabric over their mouth, when literally it's like the same material as gaiters. And most gaiters are thicker. So I just doesn't make sense to me. They're even making turtlenecks now that have mask loops sewn into the
Oh my
turtleneck, so when
God.
you roll it all the way up, it can go over your face and ears like a mask, so you don't forget your mask.
I saw that. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is the only way to fuck the monopolies, going off the grid and trying to make it self sufficient on your own. Which I know for most people sounds daunting and seems hard, but you gotta at least some form of self-sufficiency, even if you live in a neighborhood or a suburb. Try to outfit your house with solar or a small windmill if possible, or you just gotta think of alternative resources that you could utilize in the fact of, because the safest thing, unless they're literally going door to door kicking in doors, is to probably shelter in place if things do totally collapse. You might not want to be moving. You don't know what it's going to be like out there. With the riots that we've seen so far in Minneapolis and now 81 days in Portland, they literally haven't stopped rioting. since we stopped. They started and we stopped. And it's literally been the focus ever since. And people around the country do not have the passion that they once did for this movement. But it seems like Portland has not allowed it to die, which honestly, that really shows fortitude for a city. They have
It
literally
does.
been out there 80 fucking 1 days. And honestly, we got to give Portland a little bit more credit than we do. We like
And
to
that's
talk
like,
shit at first, and people, when the Chop was around, and then the Chaz, and up in Washington when that was up in Seattle. Portland had a rivaling, a protest every night, and then when Seattle fizzled out, Portland hasn't stopped. They've actually went hard for their city, like they actually
you know
really
what?
want
And
it to
Frank,
change.
right, and like Frank Nitti, which is the guy that is walking from Milwaukee or Wisconsin or whatever state that was to DC, ended up in Ohio yesterday. But watch this, Scarlett. George Floyd's nephews ended up in North Canton
Hmm.
here in Ohio.
For
They're
what?
they're driving all around the world, all around the states where these protests are, and
Mm.
starting to shed light that we have to have dialogue with the police. We can't be as aggressive as we are with
Right.
them.
Well, because
And
people realize that we actually do need the police to some degree.
you know what? And he was, I
And
was
maybe we
watching
should
them,
defund certain activities. We all know that police states are inappropriate,
right?
right? We all
And I
know
was
that
sitting
they
there,
shouldn't probably have tanks, and they shouldn't probably have the same equipment as the military and shit like that. We could probably defund,
right? Like
programs
only
that
the
push
SWAT,
pressure against people and the shit like that. Like we could probably cut that shit, honestly.
and I'm sitting there listening to this man, George Floyd's nephews. And one of the people going like, "But you're black and you're talking to them." He's going like, "Yeah, because I'm trying to set it straight."
Right.
And I heard that, and I'm sitting there, and I'm going like, "Damn, damn."
My concern is, when do people wake up and actually want to fight back, and actually stand up to the government and say, you know what, this is enough. We're going to march on every city, everywhere, and we're going to just stop this shit. There's enough people who could actually do it. If you think that,
Dude, there's people marching
50
from
plus
different states
50
in
plus
DC.
million people, let's just think about it like this: 50 plus million people voted for Trump, right? If all those people just decided, and there's many more who did not vote, right, who probably still do feel the same way. So let's say there's 100 million people in the country who feel that way.
I helped vote that dumbass in office. Thanks for calling me out,
We could
Scarlett.
change so many things. Yeah, but we can't have Democrats. I wouldn't fight for Democrats to try to fix shit. I mean, not that Republicans are that much better, but honestly, when they're admitting that they're gonna come take our guns, they're gonna change everything. They will make mask mandates. Even Kamala Harris said, "I will hunt people down who voted for Trump." This is going to be like the new concentration camp thing. Like, oh, you voted for Trump. If they win, then, oh, you get to go to jail. You get to go to the FEMA camp for re-education. It's such a dangerous precedent. With the way
I'm
shit's
voting.
already going, people are okay with people getting quarantined in their homes. People are okay, like even in Australia, with families being separated and people being brought to quarantine centers, and just all this crazy shit that I never thought the average American would tolerate. But they're that brainwashed.
You know, and before we end this here, because I'm probably gonna go back to bed. I know Scarlett needs to get her ass to bed.
Correct.
And I want to give a little scripture here for a minute with everything going on, because I don't want people to lose sight.
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
because with all the doom and gloom, a lot of people have a hard time thinking about, what could potentially happen, and it scares them. With everything that's happened this year, if you're not scared as an average individual living on Earth, there is probably something wrong with you, and you have not been paying attention close enough. because everybody, I don't care who you are, is rocked to their core. Where a lot of us have already been very upset about what's been happening in the world, where some people are just tasting it for the first time.
You know, the book of Revelation states this.
Didn't they just shoot somebody in Victoria, like over not wearing a mask? Wasn't that where that was in Australia, where they like opened fire into the vehicle of these two people?
Right. And and this is what the book of Revelation says, Scarlett, and this has been dawning on me. If you look at
We have
Revelations,
sonic weapons. Hold on, let me respond to Darren. We have sonic weapons here too that they used during the Philando Castile riots. That was the first time they had been used
I watched that shit.
in the public space, and Unicorn Riot had covered that, but it was interesting when Seattle's mayor had banned those weapons for use after the protest had started, because it was the first time a city had admitted that they had direct energy weapons, they had sonic weapons, they had all these weapons against the people.
Right. You know, but we're going to end this with this. Revelations 22:12 through 16 says, "Look, I am coming soon. My reward is with me." And by the way, guys, I'll show you this is in red so you kind of know who's talking. I'm going to give you the context. "Look, I am coming soon. My reward is with me, and I will give each person according to what they have done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and the first and the last." I said that wrong. Sorry. I got to actually read how the scripture says. "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Blessed are those who wash their robes, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may go through the gates into the city. Outside of the dogs who practice magic arts, the sexually immoral, the murderers, the idolaters, and everyone who loves and practice falsehood. I, Jesus, have sent my angels to give you this testimony. For the churches, I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright of the morning star." Now, if you go back and you look at Ephesians, he gave us a way to combat this. Everything that's going on. Ephesians 6:10 through the end of the chapter. "Finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, and the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, which is now, you may be able to stand your grounds. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything else, to stand. Stand firm with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the one word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep praying for all the Lord's people. Pray also for me whenever I speak, words may be given to me, so that I will fiercely make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains. Pray that I may declare it fiercely as I should." And with that, Scarlett, you want to hit us out of here with
Yeah,
a quick prayer? You want to hit us
yeah,
with a quick
we
prayer real quick?
will. Absolutely. Um, you know, we all just need to, look to the Lord to, protect us, or whatever you believe in at this point. You have to have some foundation of faith, because what's going to happen is going to shock and rock us. And with the way we act as a society, can we make it? Or are we better off trying to break off in small fringe groups that try to make a go at it? At this point, I don't know if the people can be reconciled. I don't know if the people's minds and hearts can be captured for the right reasons. There's so much corruption. There's so many things that have happened, but we have to have faith that the Lord will protect and provide, that we will have some form of comfort. And if not, we know that we live this life serving the Lord Jesus Christ. And I think that's really important at this point. No matter what happens, as long as you have your faith And as long as you believe in something and you believe you were put here to better humanity, no matter what path we end up taking to meet our demise, that's what's truly important. How you interact as a human being from here on out, how you treat other people. The one thing that I want to give people advice is just try not to turn cold for as long as possible. Try to hold out that humanity and the hope for people to change and their goodness. Because the more we put stock in the idea that people are evil, the more evil that will actually come towards us. So we need to manifest that people are changing. We need to manifest that the ideas are catching on instead of always saying, well, because, I was just guilty of it just now. Always saying, oh, nobody's going to change. It's just going to be like this. We're just doomed. Are we? Or is that our mindset that we put ourselves in and that we put other people in? So then it becomes, your thoughts create your reality, as I've always said in the tagline of Clarity After Dark.
Or the
Thereby
power of life
making
and
each,
death is in the tongue.
so I mean, we need to really think about that, and that's truth. So let's stop putting ourselves in that position too. If we have a positive outlook about things, things might go more positively as well, even if things get really bad. Even the people of the Bible, when they speak about some of the horrific and horrendous things that happened to them, they still talk about it with irreverence because they knew that as long as they, persevered, they would eventually be rewarded. And I think we have got too much instant gratification where we might have to have really hard times for a long time,
Right.
you know? So we just really got to think about how we're interacting, what we're doing, and make every action as meaningful, and puts as much intention behind it as possible.
Right. And we're going to get out of here with a prayer. If you guys would just take a minute with me. Dear Lord, we come to you in just such hard times. Lord, our faith falters. We start asking questions. We start putting other people down. But Lord, you said the power of life and death is in the tongue. Lord, through the dark times that we're facing, we're still battling COVID-19. We're battling all these things that are happening, disasters, loss of loved ones. But Lord, we know in the end that you said that I'm going to bring blessings with me when I return. Lord, we don't know how much time we have left. Lord, we'll never know when you are truly going to show your face on the earth. But Lord, I just pray for all the chaos. I pray for all the hate. I pray for all the broken pieces that has happened over this few months, over this year. Lord, because it seems like we see it's the nothing but the negative. But Lord, let us see the positive in the stay in the light of you. Lord, you said in Philippians 4:13, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And it may get hard and the days may get weary. But Lord, let us keep pushing through with you, whether it's a blackout grid, whether this vaccine comes out, whether these protests keep happening, or whether people keep dying. We just keep seeing all the negative things that the devil's just trying to put in our heads and showing us and trying to show us that you don't care. Lord, we know that's not the fact. Lord, we know that's not the fact because you sent your holy and precious Son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross, to bear the blood and to bear the sins of the world. Lord, we just ask you to keep your hands on us, talk to us, and be there with us. And as one, we pray, we thank you, we glorify you, and we sanctify your name. Who that we all pray in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen, Dwayne.
You know, guys, I'm probably going to be on here. After that, I'm probably about to do some digging and some research and get kind of a small message put together because I don't know, something's swaying on me now. But guys, I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us here.
Yes, we love every single one of you for coming and joining us and spending time with us. And, all the people who watch the replay, we appreciate you guys too. And thank you for watching. And, if you ever have any comments or questions, you can always go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com and shoot us an email or
Hold on,
any
I can put
other
the emails up.
correspondence that you would like.
Where are the
Um,
emails?
so there's a contact us form on the website as well. So you can get a hold of us that way. But you can always put in, tips at freedomrevolutionnetwork.com. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of us here.
And there's both mine and Scarlett's email. You guys are gonna see my face 3 times today because the preaching, and I got my show later tonight, which is gonna be good. Hopefully I'm not too drained out.
Yeah, update on Tib. He made it to Illinois, so he should be back on the air here pretty soon.
Yeah, guys, pray, and I'm gonna say this: pray for Mel because I know she's going. I'm not gonna say what, but we know she's going through her stuff right now. I know the last update. What is the last update on Mel?
Mel has got a new place, and so she's just waiting for her internet equipment that didn't show up, so she had to put like extra time on her hotspot, and so she's just trying to get a reliable internet connection, and then we'll be 100% back in business.
Right, and for all those that it seemed like Mel blocked y'all, that's not what happened. Facebook clipped her from all the videos that all of our videos have been going to her page. I will. I will watch that Thanos video. I might not talk about it tonight. Give me a couple
You
days because I
might.
know.
I think we need to talk about it tonight because this is the most important thing. Australia basically going down is so important
Okay,
because
we
look,
can do that.
as a global community, and I don't mean this in a globalist way, but we're people of the world and we're watching our respective nations just literally
Right,
fall before our eyes. And if one of us go down, the rest of us
all
will
of us
go down.
go.
Yeah, because if they can shut down Australia, they'll be able to shut down just about anywhere. Like I said, when they shut down Wuhan, China, this is how I knew the lockdowns were coming to America, because if they could do it there, they were going to do it here on a different scale. Certain things we would have never tolerated in America, but as we saw, they did the same thing here.
Right, Darren. The best way to get a hold of me is through my email. Videos, not so much. Videos, if you when you send it to the FRM page, put mine or Scarlett's name above it, and we'll know because it goes to my phone. I can't get my email hooked to my phone, so I have my computer on at all times. So here.
Yeah, the Mel can teach you how to forward it so that you can get it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's an option. So don't forget
But
that.
best way is through the email, or it's through the phone number for the official number for my show is 330-353-8527. Can't get a hold of me there, text me on my phone, on my Google Voice number. Darren, I said this to you in an email. Try downloading WhatsApp because I want to get you on here. You have valuable intel. I mean, God, he's been sending us stuff nonstop.
Yeah, which has been so wonderful. Like it's hard to keep up with everything, but I'm trying. But I've got it there so
We're
that we
both
can go through it all.
we're both trying, dude. With all the emails, dude, you got us wrapped up in like 3-4 hours worth of stuff.
Right, but it's good
Which
stuff,
ain't
so we
bad. It's
appreciate
good.
that. And it's nice to have people in Australia to talk to, because we hear a lot of things through the media and it's hard to verify. But having people physically there who are hearing stories or know of people makes it a lot easier to understand the situation and have a good understanding.
Right, and guys, I want to say this because I know I said this on my show Thursday night. I'm re-debating my McCamey Manor tour. I know I said that on Thursday that I was doing it, But after some unfortunate things that happened, and oh my god, my goatee is way off. One side's over here and one side's over here. So I need to go
Leave it
fix that.
together, doing.
Need to go. Well, it's this side. This side doesn't. This side doesn't grow up here. This side does. So I gotta get it trimmed down again. But
Oh,
due to the fact that for some uncertain turn of events, and he's going back to his old show, I am thinking about not taking the risk of dying. Not taking the risk of having a seizure while I have a chainsaw to my head. So,
right?
so,
I feel like I would assault them. I couldn't tolerate it.
but if I do end up doing it, Renee is going with me. Um,
Is Renee
Renee
gonna
will.
do it?
No, Renee's gonna stay back while I do it. That way, when I get back to the hotel and if I have a mental, you know what,
Breakdown.
breakdown, she'll have your number and she'll have Kenzie's number.
Right.
Because we're not gonna drag my mother through that.
Right.
So and then Scarlett or Renee, if I leave my computer with Renee, she'll have access to this. Once I talk it over with Scarlett. To keep you guys updated is to let y'all know how I'm doing. And to possibly show some live footage.
Right. I don't know if they'd let you, but it'd be interesting.
Well, no, she
We could
can
maybe
show it.
hook you up
She can
with
throw
like
the
a
live
little
footage
hidden
to the
camera
group.
or something.
Yeah, no, she can. He'll go live with some of the things, and you guys can see what he's actively doing from the live group, and she screen shares it. But this won't be till later October when I go and do this. If I decide to, I'm praying on it right now, and I'm really hoping God changes my mind. I'm really
Should.
hoping. I'm really hoping God changes my mind with it. But if He tells me to go and do this, dude, I'm gonna be so mad. But I'm like, God, like I love you, but I don't understand your ways or your wisdom sometimes.
I don't know. I'd reconsider what
I'm
God's telling me.
I'm praying on it, man. I'm praying. But guys, today I'm gonna be preaching today. Um, I I wanted to say that before I got off here. The Wednesday night studies are coming back for good. Uh, I'm bringing back the Wednesday night studies. I had some fortunate events with my guitar take a turn, and I had to get that fixed before I could really do anything because since we're now getting clipped for fucking copyright issues, I'm
Right.
back. I'm back to using the guitar again.
Right.
It didn't give me any
As
issue
as
when I was
you
using
guys would
Spotify.
say, Darren over there, Dwayne works at Macca's, so they make him shave, so it's not an option for him.
Oh, I told him I'm keeping the goatee for religious reasons. None of my facial hair goes off until I'm married. Because in my
Right.
church with the apostolic community, if we're not preaching or anything, the facial hair stays until we hit
Right.
a podium. So I told them for religious reasons, my goatee will not go off. And I
Right.
said, you fire me, that's discrimination.
Right.
So right now they're fighting with me to shave it, but I've went into work like this 4 times already, and I keep telling them to go screw off, and it's been a huge battle about it. Speaking of that, guys, I don't know. I'm going to talk to Scarlett about it. My show times are going to kind of have to change, I guess. I'm back on day shift, so late night talk shows that I was doing might have to change, and I'll fluctuate that around Tim, and I'll fluctuate that around my work schedule. I don't know if I'm going to keep because my only days off are Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Then I'm back to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know. Once I talk to Scarlett and I get my show times figured out, Scarlett will either post me or Scarlett will either post an update on the FRN page on Facebook if you guys follow us there, or if you guys don't follow me already, I have my official page up for the Night Talk. If you just put in the Night Talk on Facebook, or you can find it by the email. I'll not have to email, but the website is on my page. The link to the website is on my page. So you can either find it by that or two ways, or you can find it at Dwayne at freedomrevolutionnetwork.com on Facebook. Just type the email in the search bar, and you should be able to find my page, which is where
Why
here
no
soon.
camera? Is because I'm exhausted and I've been moving and I
Bro, we've
have a
all
sinus
been
headache
exhausted.
and
This
yeah,
is
I have a really bad sinus headache that I've had for like 3 days now. So I'm just
I
trying to get rid
started
of that.
I started drinking on Saturday the Sunday morning, and I've had a hangover ever since. I can't get rid of it,
Mm. I
bro.
mean,
Just
I remember
bro,
being young.
this hangover, bro, just will not go away,
Well, yeah, gotta be good to your body.
bro. I'm just waiting to see if it's alcohol poisoning is the reason I'm still feeling like this,
It's
or
not. How much do you didn't drink that much? You'd be
oh
puking and stuff, wouldn't you?
no, dude, I drank. Let's see, moonshine, Jameson, Jack, Knob Creek, Crown Royal Apple. We all did about a half of that. If it's short, it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I keep it like this because it is short and I can still kind of play with it. But once I switch jobs here soon, I'll be able to keep my full beard. They won't say nothing to me about it.
Right? Exactly. So yeah,
Mine's
we'll see what happens.
long, and
Hair
everything.
and
LOL.
everything.
You know what,
Right.
dude? My hair isn't. Ask Scarlett. My hair is normally never this long. Man, I've been slacking on the haircuts. But guys, this is the official FRN news here on the Freedom Revolution Network. If you want to donate, go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com. Click that donate button. It's not just shows here like the FRN news. You have Clarity After Dark on Fridays. You have my show, The Night Talk, or Wednesday evening service. I got two shows technically. Yeah. You have the original Red Pill show. You have Journey into Freedom. You have Liberty Librarian. Have we figured out what's going on with Elle yet? Scar? Did you leave me?
Yeah, like yeah, wow. Yeah, so yeah, let's get out of here.
Have you heard anything about Elle?
No, I haven't.
Because I know a couple people have asked where she's at.
Oh yeah, I'll find out.
That's what I was saying. Because I didn't know if you had an update or not. That's why I kind of
Yeah, and as soon as Mel gets back online, then we'll have our other two new hosts starting, which will be very exciting.
yeah, I forgot we do have two new hosts coming in. I saw that on the FRN page.
Yes, we do. So I kind of announced that because we're getting Mel back into the seed, and that'll be good. So,
What are their shows?
they're gonna be two kind of different shows. I haven't really talked to um the one about what it's gonna be about, and then Aurora Rosa is gonna talk about more metaphysical, spiritual, type training for life and the metaphysical world. So it'll be a very interesting show.
All right, guys. Scarlett, you want to give your intro, your exit, real quick?
Yes. All right. From the land of 10,000 lakes. Good morning, universe.
From the seas to the skies, and from the fucked up East Coast of Ohio. Not East Coast, fuck it. From the pedophile state that I'm from and I want to fucking live in. Good morning and good night.